Good morning from Michigan. Today is Saturday, September 25th. Thank you for coming to News with Nana, getting my opinion about the news cycle going around today. As you know, yesterday we had some very interesting information come out, which, in my opinion, seems to be almost a distraction here in Michigan. What is that song? Oh, the walls, come tumbling down in the walls. It's what just keeps echoing in my head today. Hmm. Just keep that in mind, and you'll know what I'm talking about because I kind of have to speak in mm, rhythm and rhymes. Because if I get too much attention from the algorithm, guess what happens to me? Bam! And I get put in a corner again. So we're going to be careful today. So this today actually 14 hours ago on M Live. Rona, whatever the frick, however the hell you say her name, she did a disservice to the Michigan Republicans, is what my opinion is. And she's trying to backpedal because she screwed up last year. But here on M Live, they're reporting, and mind you, there is nothing, if you look through here, nothing about what Gateway Pundit has a lot of articles on about what happened in a certain state, um, Pacific time zone state. Anyways, so Rona says Whitmer is the worst governor in the nation um, at the Mackinac Republican Conference. Now, this is that Mackinac Republican Conference that Garrett Soldano did not go to because he is not a career politician. And he just, whoa. And then we have here, look at this. Khaldun. Dr. Khaldun is stepping down as Michigan's chief medical executive. She's stepping down from her role within the governor's administration to pursue a new opportunity outside state government, state officials said. I'd love to know where she's going. Joni Khaldun, chief medical exec for the state of Michigan and chief deputy director of health for the state's Department of Health and Human Affairs, announced her resignation Friday. So she must be getting more money somewhere else doing something. Let's see if we can find out what. Khaldun said she has accepted a new position, which will be announced in the coming week. She'll be staying in Michigan and will continue to work as a part-time emergency med physician. Oh, at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Y'all better be careful out there. You know what that lady's trying to do. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, Stretch and Gretchen is appointing Dr. Natasha Bagdasarian, senior public health physician for MDHHS, to serve as chief medical executive in the short term while a nationwide search is conducted to determine a long-term replacement. And Dr. Bagdasarian will start October 1st. Thanks to Dr. J's around-the-clock leadership, our state acted out quickly with the best available data and science. Okay. While Whitmer praised Khaldun for working by her side throughout, for sounding the alarm, just for impact of color. While we wish we could keep Dr. J at the helm, I wish her the best of luck as she moves on to a well-deserved opportunity. So she will be staying in Michigan and will continue to work as a part-time, but they're not saying what she left for. Okay, so how are they going to repeatedly say, okay, asked Friday if there were any policy disagreements that led to Khaldun stepping down, and Stretch and Gretchen said, oh, no, not at all, adding that the two have always had a very respectful dialogue, and she is sad to see her go. She's learned so much. I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a helper, I'm not, I surround myself with the smartest people I can. Yeah, that's why you liked Sloppy Joe so much. Like Hunter. Hi, Jessamine. Khaldun pointed her new career opportunity. Okay, Khaldun pointed to her new career opportunity as the reason for her departure and asked if she was receiving any financial payout for leaving and if she expects to return to the state government at some point down the road. She said there was no payout and she is certainly open to future opportunities in the government. Yeah, we don't want you there. Okay, we're trying to get Stretch and Gretchen out. Love my work. She would love to throw her hat in the ring for a position long term. For health, she will need to be filled by, we'll need Keldon's position within the health department. Chief Deputy for Health will need to be filled by Director Elizabeth Hertel. You know, that one that went to Florida? No replacement has been announced for that role, but Hertel said the plan is to have an individual separate from the Chief Medical Executive take on those responsibilities. Dr. Bagdasarian has served as the State Health Department since 2020. She specializes in infectious disease and public health and previously served as infection prevention and control consultant for the WHO. And as a physician, okay, guys, this should concern Michiganders. Whitmer said she looks forward to collaborating with her. That's why she's stepping down. She wasn't able to crack the whip hard enough. So her departure is the second significant loss of health department leadership this year following the January resignation of former director Robert Gordon. Months after he left, Gordon acknowledged he and Governor Whitmer disagreed on decisions regarding gray areas of science surrounding precautions. When you're in a role like this, I was serving as an at-will appointee. Well, I'm sorry, isn't Michigan at will? Isn't that like the employment, when you take a job anywhere in Michigan, it's at will. They can fire you and not even give you a reason. Yeah, okay. It's important the governor comfortable with you in that role and that you're comfortable with it in that role, Gordon said. When it was clear that was no longer the case, I resigned. And you got money. You got a lot of money to resign. And Friday's leadership change announcement comes in the midst of Michigan's fourth wave. The state has averaged new cases as its ranking climbed from 43rd most newly per capita a week ago to 35th. Well, isn't that an interesting twist and turn of events? I didn't even, that one caught me by surprise, guys. And yeah, they're allowing, they've now like approved the boosters here in Michigan. Not that that's anything that anybody with a brain wants. That's my opinion. I can't stress it more. This is an opinion channel. I read the news and give you my damn opinion of it. Flu basically disappeared last season. This season it might not. Doctors warn. A budget deal, a campaign, resignation this week in Michigan politics. Dr. Jill promotes free community college and a 3.5 T meaning trillion dollar economic recovery plan. And this is funny because I'm sorry for A.G. Nessel. I am strongly behind Matt DePerno, and that's my opinion. But here we have Republican Tom Leonard wants rematch with Dana Nessel in Attorney General race. So former Republican Attorney General candidate Tom Leonard and State House Speaker speaks during a campaign rally for the Republican U.S. Senate, and that was in 2018. So the former Michigan House Speaker Tom Leonard will seek Republican nomination for Attorney General a second time. But just remember that Matt DePerno, he got endorsed by Mr. T. Not that Mr. T, everything is, the moon, the sun, it all doesn't set and shine on Mr. T. However, that's a big deal. Big Daddy endorsing somebody as somebody we want to watch. And Matt has made significant and things and has pushed for significant things here in our state. So just remember that. Leonard, a DeWitt Republican, lost a close race to Nessel in 2018 for the open Attorney General seat vacated by term-limited Republican Bill Schuette. Bill Schuette is still in Michigan government, though. I can't remember where. I don't remember what he's doing, but he's still in the government. And this is why I say, guys, career politicians. It's like it's a house. It's like musical chairs in the government. So I'm going to go from here to here and then here to here. These people need to do their time in one place and then get the F out because you need to get fresh opinions. because when they're in there for long periods of times and the money keeps being spent and more money being spent and more money being spent and nothing being done for the people of Michigan, to me, in my opinion, means you're now making money off of us. So you have now become a leech on the ass of the Michigan people. So career politician, get the hell out of Dodge. We don't want that. We don't. We saw what a businessman who took on the United States of America, what he did for this country and how our country thrived under the leadership of a businessman instead of a career politician. Take that same thought and apply it to our state, your state, my state, because that's what needs to happen. These career corrupt politicians need to be booted out in every level of our government, and we need to take it back on the local level and get people who are, or at least get people who have, I know, I still think it needs to be fresh blood. That's just my opinion. Leonard was also nominated by the former Mr. T to be attorney for the Western District of Michigan, although he was never confirmed by the Senate. I don't even know what that means. Sorry, guys. Nessel responded to Leonard's announcements on social media, saying that on the same day Leonard was hobnobbing with billionaires, she was in Detroit setting up an expungement fair for folks who can't afford an attorney. Yet, she's the one that's going after. Oh my God, please. She is just, she. Don't like her, never liked her. Okay, so let's see, keep going. The CDC endorses boosters. All right, so that's pretty much it for MLive. Let's head on over to Detroit Free Press. Official GOP will massively step up poll watching in Michigan. Let's see what this says. At Mackinac, this is that Mackinac Island conference thing that they had. The GOP will massively increase its poll watching and election litigation efforts in 2020 and beyond, after so far failing to overturn the results through a series of suits and investigations. A top Republican National Committee official said Friday. Josh Finley, election integrity director for RNC, said the problem with the GOP operations in 2020 was that attorneys for Mr. T and other conservative groups went to court too late. Well, that's kind of true. Going to court same choosing day is not going to be effective, Finley told attendees at the Mackinac Republican League MRLC. Yeah, let's call it that. MRLC, Mackinac Republican Leadership Conference, held every other year on the northern Michigan island that can only be reached by ferry or private plane, and where motorized vehicles are generally banned. Finley acknowledged another problem, one that both nonpartisan judges and Democrats said in response to all allegations of the five-letter F word and irregularities put forward by the Republican poll watchers in Detroit. There are large numbers of volunteers who were recruited by the GOP in many cases at the last minute to go to TCF Center, while absentee ballots were being counted after the third vote. Excuse me. Many were barred from entering or required to leave in some cases because of social distance rules, resulting in chaotic scene in which crowds of people were banging on the windows of counting rooms, shouting as workers tried to complete the count. More significantly, many scenes the poll watchers witnessed and described as evidence of possible five-letter F word were discounted by judges. All right, so yeah, the RNC has already appointed election integrity directors in 9 states, and many more will be appointed soon, well ahead of the vote. He said not only will such staff people be put to work earlier, but they will be much better staffed with deputies and regional field directors instead. Michelle Maddock, co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party, said such changes are already evident in Michigan, where she did not meet the state's election integrity director until about 90 days before the vote of last year. For 2022, Michigan has a full-time director more than 13 months out, and volunteers are already being recruited and trained. Panelist Oyo Hearn. Okay, so this is just pretty much they're talking about the election integrity that changes that the GOP here in Michigan are making. This is kind of interesting. I don't know. Fritz Erickson, president of Michigan, was fired Friday. Northern Michigan University's governing board voted 8-0 to dismiss Fritz Erickson, who had led the UP school since 2014. There are good things that have happened, but we can and must do more, said Trustee Steve Young. Erickson's contract was supposed to expire in 23. Erickson was a vice president at Ferris State University before moving to NMU. Excuse me. He also worked at University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, Eastern Washington University, and Michigan Tech. As a huh. I'm guessing it has something to do with this right here. And interesting. And then here, what is this? What is this? Debbie Dingell, Marjorie Taylor Greene get into shouting match on the Capitol steps. Debbie Dingell, Republican of Dearborn. Oh my God, please. You know what? I do not like these people. I didn't like her husband, and I don't like her. Lit into Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, on Friday as the latter accosted Democrats after they voted to advance a bill protecting women's rights to have an abortion. With House Speaker Nancy Pelosi holding a few news conference and Democrats set to get their photo taken on the Capitol steps after a 218-211 party line vote, Greene came out and began to heckle Democrats at one point, shouting, "You all should be ashamed." She also said that killing a baby up until birth is a lack of civility. It's called murder. Oh my. The legislation passed the House, however, only codifies existing rules under the Supreme Court Roe v. Wade decision prohibiting restrictions on abortion before a fetus can survive the outside womb. Dingell, standing on the steps as Greene reached the bottom, began to yell back, saying Greene should try being a Christian and telling her to act with more civility. Being a Christian means that you respect the right of life. Ms. Dingell, who, if I'm not mistaken, has triplets. You should try the basic thing you're taught in church. Yes, and she should teach the basic Christian rules of right to life, which most Christians believe abortion is blasphemy. It's against. I mean, do not kill. That is one of the 10 commandments. Sorry, Miss Dingell. Maybe you should try to get your head out of your arse. Respect your neighbor. Dingell started chopping the air with her hand at Greene. Taught in church. Are you kidding me? Greene yelled back. Several people who were at the scene caught it and posted it on Twitter. Let's take a lookie. I love Marjorie. I do. I'm sorry, but Marjorie's got it here. Go to the Bible, folks. It's one of the 10 commandments. It's one of the 10 commandments. Dingell's wrong. So she was screaming at my colleagues. I said, "You can't be civil to your colleagues," Dingell told the Free Press. She was yelling at them. She was trying to be disruptive and rude to all my colleagues, Dingell continued. She was trying to bully and disrupt my colleagues. We're already on edge. We can disagree agreeably. She doesn't have to go and yell and cause a scene at a press conference. Yes, she does. Because you're claiming that it's Christian to support abortion, where I in the Catholic Church, anyways, at least the Catholic churches that I know in my area, have protests at Planned Parenthoods. They're pro-life, against abortion. Who the hell is? I'm baffled at the stupidity of some of our people that come from Michigan. It just, shit should not surprise me, but it does. Okay, so that's old. That was on the 24th. Moving right along, let's go to Mid-Michigan News. There's really not much here. Here was the one I wanted to show you. So Whitmer to nix budget provision that tries to ban the diaper rules. Gretchen's office says she will declare unenforceable a Republican-written budget provision that seeks to ban indoor diaper requirements for kids. The Democrat has been expected to block the language as unconstitutional since $55 billion in spending was passed by the legislature this week. Spokesman Bobby Leddy confirmed next week's move Friday, calling the proposed restriction dangerous. The provision, which isn't tied to spending, would prevent the state health director, why we're getting a new one, and local health officers from issuing or enforcing orders that require kids under the age of 18 to wear a diaper. Various counties mandate coverings in schools to curb the bug. That's something I told you was going to happen. The 603 to 600 to 603, and that was I don't it doesn't state which provision. I'm not really sure, but I told you something was going to happen on that. The Shiawassee County Commissioners vote to reallocate. Yeah, that's the one that they took the thing and then had to give it back. All right, so that's what we got there. Let's move right along to the Detroit news. Windfall provides fertile ground for $147 million in local pork projects in Michigan. I can't read it because it's for subscribers only, and I'm not giving them my cash. Sorry. Representative Dingle confronts Representative Green in shouting match over civility. Finley Leonard could save GOP from a wacko. Oh, I know what they're talking about, and that's for subscribers only. Whitmer's office ban on diapers mandates for kids unconstitutional. I want to. Gretchen Whitmer's office plans to a strike controversial provision embedded in Michigan's new state budget that would ban health orders requiring kids to. Did I read that right? Let me try this again. Governor Gretchen Whitmer's office plans to strike a controversial, that's a typo on their part, provision embedded in Michigan's new state budget that would ban health orders requiring kids to cover faces. Whitmer's spokesman Bobby Leddy labeled the language dangerous in a Friday afternoon statement, adding that it's unconstitutional and the governor will declare it unenforceable. So she's going to strike the ban. She's going to strike a provision embedded. See, to me, as I read that, and I'm really, because when I read that, it tells me that she's against the coverings, but we know that that's not what she does. So I'm kind of, my head is trying to be wrapped around this, and I know that she wants to be elected, and I think this is her way of doing it. The state of Michigan will not withhold funding from local health departments for implementing a universal covering policy or other protocols in local schools that are designed to keep students safe so they can continue learning. Oh, okay. So this is good to learn. The so-called boilerplate language, and why do they use these? Can't they just speak fucking English? Excuse me. This really frustrates me. Inserted in the budget by Republican leaders stipulated that local health officials cannot enforce any orders or other directives that require individuals in the state who is under the age of 18 to wear face covering. The orders are intended to fight the spread. Okay. Multiple county health officials in Michigan have imposed orders that require K-12 students to cover their faces, including those in Oakland and Wayne counties, the state's two most populous counties. Republicans have opposed the mandates, arguing that people should make decisions for themselves. So it seems to me some Republican lawmakers admitted that they didn't know whether it would allow the prohibition on the diaper requirements. Senator Tom Barrett Charlotte posted on Facebook earlier in the week that he championed the policy against the mandates, the decision for parents to make without interference from the governor. He wrote, while she has signaled that she will not enforce this provision, she is not allowed to simply ignore the plain language of the law. I've attached to the section here for you to read for yourself. Here posted. Oh, so she is opposing it. Okay, so she is. So I was right. I was right. There was more to it than I could read. So traditionally, the governor has the ability to strike language attached to the budget if the administration deems it unconstitutional. Before Whitmer's announced, man, why do these people not? Before Whitmer announced the decision Friday, the Dickinson Iron District Health Department rescinded its covering order for children in kindergarten through sixth grade, citing the state budget language. Oh, while the public health still feels this is the best option, the department was informed on Wednesday, September 22nd, of language in fiscal year 2022 state budget, Senate Bill 82, that jeopardizes future health department funding. The department said in a statement, the bill has been approved, and Governor Whitmer has indicated she will sign the bill early next week. While Whitmer is expected to sign the budget bill next week, it is unclear how many of the boilerplate provisions will be blocked. Other policies include a requirement that state health director provide additional information when issuing epidemic orders to respond to the bug, and a stipulation that universities offer exemptions for the hokey pokey mandates on campus. Well, this is very interesting because like I said, I knew something was fishy-wishy on that one. Wishy-washy. I knew you knew she was going to do it. Here we have Khaldun leaving as Michigan's top doctor. Erickson fired. We already went over that. What else we got going on? Michigan man found a buried treasure. Oh, here we go. Cruz, McDaniel, slammed Whitmer during GOP opening speeches at the Mackinac GOP conference. Texas GOP Senator Cruz criticized Whitmer in his keynote address to Michigan Republicans Friday, comparing the Democratic governor's words to horse droppings. Well, you know, he reminds me, if you see some of his pictures in the hearings and shit, he's starting to remind me of Wolverine, the way his hair kind of comes up. It's really funny. But I like Ted Cruz. I really do. I do, however, think with some of what I've seen in the past that he may have ulterior motives, but that's just my opinion. The senator's address followed a speech from a Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ron McDaniel, who spent much of her time on stage slamming the governor. Yeah, she didn't do shit. Excuse me. Their words came as GOP leaders try to get their party to unite behind the idea of unseating the Democrats, excuse me, who hold the state's top offices in 2022. When I arrived this afternoon, I was immediately met by a horse-drawn carriage, Cruz said. My first thought was, oh crap, they've actually implemented the Green New Deal. Sorry. And then, almost as if on command, the horse deposited something on the road in front of me, and I was immediately reminded of listening to your governor, he said. He is very comedic. The majority of Cruz's address focused on America in crisis under the Sloppy Joe administration and the quote-unquote revival needed to diminish Democratic leadership at the state and federal levels. He slammed President Sloppy Joe on immigration policy and the Afghanistan withdrawal, noting the importance of change at the state and federal levels. Politics have always had a pendulum aspect to it, Cruz said. Throughout American history, when one party gets in power, they go too far in one direction, and the American people had a great tendency to say, hold on. That change starts in places like Macomb County, the birthplace of the Reagan Democrat, Cruz said, and with Michigan-based leaders such as McDaniel and former U.S. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. The DeVos family, that name I'm just not sure about. Michigan plays a critical role in helping this revival, said Cruz. Former President Mr. T, 4 years in office, refocused Republican priorities on the working people like steelworkers, wait staff, truck drivers, Cruz said, and this is true. Your blue-collar worker gained more and had more opportunity to thrive than ever before, since I've been an adult anyways. Today, the Republican Party is and should be going forward the party of working men and women, the party of jobs, and it's true. The Michigan Democrat Party on Friday criticized the convention and said there was little that could mask an already brewing bitter primary for the Republican Party. You know, the name calling that goes on. I met someone after the J6 from Indiana that said that they knew Trader Pence and said that they were told a while back that it was all for show and that they would go out and have drinks either sides of the aisle. And I was like, what? But they also didn't know of his history, which is odd to me. But then again, young people, shit gets buried and you don't do your research and you don't look up and you don't know what happened when he was governor in Indiana. So that person kind of like got a bitter red pill. It's not the makings of an environment that can be expected to coalesce around whoever emerges from the primary and put up a united front for governor. Whitmer's strong leadership next November said, wait, that post, yeah, whatever. Her numbers keep getting, Governor Whitmer is losing her foothold. More and more people are becoming aware of her faulty excuses and her rules for thee but not for me attitude, and that she really does not have the best interest of Michiganders, Michiganians, whatever you want to call us. She does not have the best interest of the people of Michigan. And honestly, in my opinion, I think had they not repealed that law and taken it off the books, she was going to try to lock us down because it seemed to me like she just wanted to see, did anybody survive that? Did any small businesses survive? Because I think I'm going to do it again, and we're going to kill every small business that there is. That's just my opinion, and that's how a lot of people feel, though. It's not just me. I talk to other people, and that's where these words come from. You talk to other people who share your thing, and you're like, whoa, it's not just me. McDaniel, the former chairwoman, thank God she's a former. She needs to get out of there, and we need to not let her take any kind of a leadership role in any Republican conservative thing. So anyways, let's go back. That was interesting. I didn't realize that Ted Cruz was there. Here we go. Here's another one. Mr. T. Ally says he wants to make sure GOP SOS candidate wins. Matt Gaetz, a Florida congressman with close ties to Mr. T, said he visited Michigan this weekend to help ensure a victory for Kristina Karamo. Now, if you're not familiar, yesterday I posted on my YouTube channel, that you're watching this from my YouTube channel, you should know the candidates running. I posted, and I've got a link, all the links that I've listed in the description, who's running for what. And Kristina Karamo seems to be the only one that is going against our Soros student. So Gaetz was scheduled to appear at an event with Karamo on Friday night, the first day of the Michigan Republican Party's leadership conference on Mackinac Island. Mr. T endorsed Karamo for Secretary of State on September 9th. Sometimes I'm the 45th President's advance team. Sometimes I'm the trail rider, Gaetz told the Detroit News as he walked toward the Pink Pony where the function with Karamo was scheduled to occur. Mr. T has backed her candidacy, Gaetz said, and I'm here to make sure she wins. Good deal. As of Friday, Karamo, a member of the Republican Party State Committee and outspoken critic of the 20, was administered the lone GOP candidate to the race to challenge incumbent Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, a Democrat. But other Republicans, including State Rep. Bo LaFave, Republican of Iron Mountain, and Cindy Berry, the Chesterfield Township Clerk, are said to be considering the possibility of launching bids to become Michigan's top election official. Yeah, I I don't agree. Some of the Michigan, some in the some in the GOP believe that Karama's lack of government experience and her past statements about the vote could hinder her chances. Yeah, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. This right here, they know she's going to get in. And it has nothing to do with Mr. T. I'm going to be quite honest with you, because Mr. T said that he got the hokey pokey and is saying, go ahead and get your Fauci ouchie. But just because Mr. T jumps off a cliff doesn't mean the rest of the states are, we're not going to do everything. We're not going to agree with everything. We're going to take into serious consideration and do our own research and investigate and look into, because that's what you do. That you are an informed person. That's called being informed. It's not a conspiracy theorist who researches. It's an informed person. When you go to the hospital, okay, and they say, like my doctor did back in the 90s, I was having palpitations, and I was like, dude, something's wrong with me. So they put me on one of those 24-hour monitors to take home, wore it. Come to find out, after many different labs done, they finally found that I had hypothyroid, which is an elevated thyroid level. But they wanted to put me on a heart medication. And I'm like, why do you want to put me on a heart medication? Well, you were having palpitations. I'm like, but do I have a heart problem? They're like, no. Okay, well, if I don't have a heart problem, why are you putting me on a heart medication? This was my question to the doctor. Well, that's our protocol. Okay, well, I'm not going to take a medication unless I have a problem that needs medication for. So just because that's called being informed. And I did my research, because what the medication they wanted to put me on had so many other adverse issues that could lead to other issues. And I'm like, I got enough problems as is. If I don't need it, I'm not taking it. Don't give me a pill if I don't need it. You know what I mean? If I don't have a headache, I'm not going to take an aspirin. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't know. So anyways, I think they're wrong. This is my opinion, and only my opinion, and I am entitled to it, Fluff Tube. So she tells me, sign off brief at 10 multiple news outlets previously reported that. And this is so funny, because they always have to put in something negative. They'll report the truth, but they are going to frost it in shit. So no cumpen supetata sempre nostrum sue. Okay, a piece of shit, candy coated, is still a piece of shit. These people just drive me nuts. They just can't tell the damn truth. And this was the only one of the local Michigan news cycle that has this. Which, if you watched RSBN yesterday, well, maybe this is their way of trying to tell the truth. I don't know. Will Dr. D ever face the music? And that's for subscribers. I can't get to it. Oh, alrighty. So that's the interesting news today. And that's why I said, so much distraction. It's just totally. And this, like I said, this is the one and only that we went through. We went through MLive, the Free Press, Mid-Michigan, and this seems to be the only one, the Detroit News, that's even attempting to bring this subject area up. So that being said, folks, I've been on for 30, almost 40 minutes. Well, howdy ho, neighbor. It's time for me to go, because I have to do my Rumble video with my opinion on that whole stuff that happened last night. And the Gateway Pundit really Oh, they just are knocking it out of the park. I'll just scroll through this so y'all can see. But anywho, come see me on Rumble. I don't get in trouble there. I only get in trouble here. So you guys just remember that there's a lot coming out, and people, I should say there's fewer and fewer people being confused about it, but you still need to be kind to those who are going, what the hell just happened? So please remember to be kind to people. You know, knowledge is power. Share that knowledge. That's what we do here. We share the knowledge. You have to be an informed person. Who wants to be a shut-in that doesn't know anything? There's no point in it. You know what I mean? Do your research. Don't take my word for it. This is just my opinion. I'm giving you the resources so you can make your own opinions on things. But a little colorful, back and forth, a little banter never hurt nobody. I'm Italian. That's what we do. Banter back and forth. So be kind, share the knowledge, and remember, folks, united we stand, divided we fall. And it's coming to a head. So find your tribe, connect with other tribes. We have to be here for each other because people are going to be shocked when the real truth of everything comes out. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Hit the like, subscribe if you want. It always helps. If you're going to comment, please don't leave porn shit because that's going to get deleted. We don't play that at my house. All right. God bless you all. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend.